Why do we do certain things? Why do we make certain decisions over other decisions? Why do we act in a certain way? This happens because we have a system already programmed in our minds, and most of the day we act on autopilot, meaning we don't really think too much about the decision we're going to make. It's almost like it's programmed in our head. And that happens because of our belief system. Our parents, school, whatever surrounds us, they instill their ideas, their thoughts into us, and then we subconsciously, even if we don't realize it, we replicate it. We replicate the ideas and the thoughts, and that's how we become copies. That's why we all act in the same way. That's why it's normal to be average and not accepted to deviate from the mean. And how does these belief systems form? Basically, an idea have to first arrive in your head. So a simple idea, if it's repeated long enough, whatever, if you internalized it or if others instill that in you, that idea becomes alive. It's almost like the idea is a tabletop without the legs. It doesn't have a base, and so it can't really act on itself. It's not stable. But what happens if we repeat this idea that we have, either it's ours or someone else's? Our tabletop, it grows legs and it becomes stable. That's how our identities form. That's why we begin to act in a certain way. These legs that form the table essentially is our identity. And so, would you really want to have your identity formed by other people? Or would you rather have it formed by yourself? Because, see, ideas, they come from real events that happen to us, but also what comes from our minds, from our imagination, because essentially what we remember is the memory that has emotions associated with it. It has a charge, energy charge within that emotion, and so the memory is essentially just an energy charge. Whether we imagined it or it really happened, it doesn't matter. And so, what if we could program our minds to act in a certain way that we wanted to, and have the belief system that we want, so we could make better decisions every day and have better autopilot, basically? Imagine I give you a chocolate bar. Would you take it or would you refuse it? That comes to your belief system. What do you believe internally? If, let's say, you have a goal to become a professional bodybuilder or to lose fat, if that's your goal and you have internalized it, you became associated with it, you won't take that chocolate immediately. You won't even think, because that is programmed inside your head that it's unhealthy and it does not align with your goals, you don't need to think about it. Now, if you just live, if you don't really think about food, about diet, immediately what you think is that it will give you more pleasure to take that chocolate rather to refuse it, because you don't have anything that could back up the fact why you shouldn't take it. Because if you do take it, you will have instant pleasure, which is essentially another concept. We are driven by pleasure and by pain, and what we think about these two things is again already programmed inside our head. That chocolate can both be pain and pleasure at the same time. To one person, to the one that is not considering his diet, that is just living, it is pleasure. It will taste nice, and then he will forget. It's pleasure, of course. Now the person that is fat and want to transform his life has bigger goals. That chocolate is attached to pain. He won't take it because he knows that these very moments, they constitute a bigger picture, and when these moments add up, you're eventually in a position where there's no pleasure at all. You're still fat and unhappy, unconfident. And so what we see about things in general, how we act on those by autopilot, already determines the direction of our lives. And so what is the idea behind it? The idea is simple: to program your mind to align with your goals, with what you want in life, because those instant pleasures that you arrive to, they will lead to more pain. Whether it's drugs, drinking, smoking, partying, procrastinating, delaying whatever you want to do, fucking, I don't know, scrolling on Instagram, all these things, they're great at the moment, of course, but if you are not aligned with your goal, with your direction, these will feel like pleasures and by things that you can enjoy. Another person that has a strong belief system will deny that immediately, because he knows that those moments add up to a bigger picture of pain. They say the road to heaven feels like hell, and the road to hell feels like heaven. That is the quote that I'm gonna leave you with to think about.